Hello and welcome back to Terrafirmagreg. This is Gamerdad Dave, and we are in the Red Barn, which we made last episode. We've got a donkey, which I found out in the wilderness, and we've got the animals in the back. Got some sheep, horses, got some goats now, so we have milk, and I found a duck, so we can get some more ducks. So we got our eggs, we got our yarn. Okay, so we got our eggs, we've got milk from the goats, got some transportation from the horses, which is nice, and the donkey, although the horse is faster. And we also have some wool from the sheep. So I think we're all set on animals. We need to get on to the next part. And the next part is iron. We want to get some of that wonderful iron. Get into the Iron Age, build some tools. We're going to make a nice smithing station and get that going. I don't think I like having all of those animals in one big pen. I think I want to separate them. I think we're going to do that with some birch fencing, just like we had before. I like the pine doors more than the rosewood. I think the rosewood just blends in a little too much. I think this door here can stay rosewood just because it's not surrounded by the other rosewood wood. I think that'll do. We could even put in a second layer or a second story up there. Maybe if we, I don't know, need to put up some kind of storage or something. Okay, so off camera I did some work with the wood down here. So since there's a wood floor, I can place this and it won't fall down. Only problem is we gotta get this. Oh, I wonder if I use a saw on the ice, what does that do? Nothing? No, I get ice. Ooh. That could be useful. You could place the ice down wherever you need a water source. Ooh, we're gonna need some more coal. And I tried placing... Oh, I put these stairs here so that the snow wouldn't actually go on here, because since this is a flat area right here and it's exactly where the blocks line up, it's not a half slab or anything, then the snow will accumulate. But on this half slab, the snow will not accumulate. And that way I can keep the path nice and clear. And it's the same up here at the top. These are just, slabs. And snow does not fall and accumulate on stairs either. So I put some stairs right here so that it wouldn't accumulate, but I'm not sure I like the look of this. It just doesn't look very good. I was playing around and I think I've come up with a solution. Put the birch planks back and then on top of them framed floorboards, because you put those down and if we take some more birch and fill it, then there you go. Then it looks just like it did before, only with slightly, up a little bit, but I think it looks better than having the wonky, stairs every now and then. So we'll have to fix that, but for right now we need to get that floor in. And when you go to bed, because it's dark. Brand new day. Oh, and we need some more feed for the animals. All right, go. Ooh, ready to milk. All right, let's get these back here. Ooh, oh, water's all frozen and gone. Gonna need at least like 40 more for the floor. Maybe we'll just use what we have for now and then change it later. What else do we have? We've got some dacite, we've got some gravel, other cobble, that's fine. We got some raw stuff. I don't think I want to use the raw stuff yet. Okay, I think that is it. One of the first things we're going to do inside the smithy here is a bloomery. And in order to do a bloomery, we actually have to create a bloomery, and that is like so. We need double plates of bronze, and in order to get a double plate, you have to weld 2 plates. That way you get a plate, a double ingot. So you basically need double plates, and each double plate is 2 double ingots. So 4 single ingots. So that's 4 times 8, which means we're going to need 32 ingots of bronze. And we have 0 because we've been using it. This is brass, it won't work. So we need a lot more bronze. And in order to get the bronze, well, we've got this bismuth. I don't know if it's enough to make all of the bismuth bronze that we need. Well, let's do some quick calculations and see if we have enough bismuth here to make 32 bismuth bronze ingots. We need 10 to 20% bismuth. So if it's 144 per ingot, so 144 per ingot times 32 ingots, it's 4,608 millibuckets of metal. And if you take 10% of that, that is 460.8. Do we have 460.8 worth of raw bismuth? Yes, we do. So we should have enough bismuth that we can do enough to make the bloomery. So bismuth, twice as much zinc as bismuth, and then a bunch of copper. We should make a crucible right now. It'll make things a lot easier if we make a crucible. So let's go. Let's get, what did we bring back? We brought back fire bricks, the fire clay. And to make the crucible, you have to use the fire clay. So then you just right click it, just napping like normal, and like making a large vessel. That makes a crucible. And we're actually going to need 2 of these. So I might as well do that now. One of them is for crafting the blast furnace. The other is for using as an actual crucible. So now we just have to fire it. Should be able to fire it in here. Let's grab some charcoal. Get this thing lit. Plop those in. Get them nice and fired. Now we just need to use the bellows to put that up to the white hot. There we go, crucibles. Now we can take this crucible and stick it on top of there. But since it's already there, we have to shift, right click, and boom. Now we have a crucible, which we can add stuff to. So now we can grab the bismuth, and we're gonna need a bunch of copper, zinc. I know if we put this stuff into here, like that, it'll show what it smelts into. This into there, that will smelt into 1536 millibuckets of bismuth bronze. I think we can do better. I think if we add more copper, yeah, still good proportion. I think we want to use as little bismuth and as much copper as we can because we have a lot of copper. Yeah, that's still good. So we can have up to 65% copper. It's still good. Awesome. If I add one more copper, I think that might be too much. Yeah. I think we could add a little more zinc, maybe. Yeah, and that'll get us over the 2,000 millibuckets of bismuth bronze. And then if I add even more copper, we're still good. We just need to make sure that we have above 10% of bismuth, which we do still. Okay, I think that's it. 10.8% bismuth. That's probably as close as we're going to get. We're going to throw this into the crucible here. So let's get it lit underneath. I'll throw in some charcoal. Now, if you want to, you don't have to try and light the charcoal forge there. You can just right click, shift and then right click hold and light the crucible. So that's heating up. So is the crucible above it. Now we can start taking this, putting it in here. We know that we have the proportion right because we tested it out in this vessel beforehand. There we go. Copper's starting to pour in. Okay, let's keep going. The zinc melts pretty fast. So does the bismuth. See, right now it's unknown, but there we go, bismuth bronze. And if we wanted to, we could actually add more to this, but I think we're gonna stick with this because I don't want to get to a point where you have to add more to get the right percentages and overflow over the 4,000. So we can just stick that right there, fill up the mold, and I better grab these. There we go. So I can take that, toss it. Oh. That's not going very far, is it? There we go. Oh, yeah. So now that's nice and cooled off. Throw it in again. Why are these not going very far? Oh, because I'm thirsty, is that it? So now we got 15 bronze ingots. Got just a little bit of bismuth bronze in there. In fact, I think if we just did the same kind of thing here, unknown, because, oh, way too much copper. There we go, bismuth bronze. We can keep adding a little bit more copper. We'll get to just the right ratio. I think that's fine. Okay, so now we just take this and get it melting. Okay, get some more in there. There we go, more bismuth bronze. Okay, we're still gonna need this fire going because we need to hammer these together. Ouch. Blowpipe, is that what it is? Blowpipe. How do you make a blowpipe? With a brass rod? Ceramic blowpipe? Huh. I don't have enough clay. I do have some brass though. In order to make it, I need some tongs anyway. Okay, we've got some tongs. We're gonna make a blowpipe. So we're gonna heat this up. So we have to have a brass rod first. So let's make a brass rod. It needs to have a draw, and a bend. Okay. Okay, so a little bit farther. There we go. Now with the brass rod, we can make a blowpipe, which needs a hit, draw. Okay. Oh, I got heated up. Seriously? Cools off that fast? Okay. There we go. Now we have a blowpipe. So now we can take the blowpipe and wear those, and the blowpipe does not wear out, and it will protect me from the environmental dangers, so I can hang up my tongs. Finally. Alright, let's get back to making some double ingots. Okay, now we just need to take these and turn them into plates. Okay, then we have to get these two plates welded together. So throw them in here. Okay, there's one. Number two. And we've got 8 double bismuth bronze plates, which I think is enough to do the bloomery. And why am I clicking on it? There we go. Okay. Yes, bloomery. Done. We've got the bloomery. Now, in order to set up the bloomery, though, that's a whole nother matter. Bloomery. Make it like that. That's right. Lets us put some iron ore plus some charcoal. And if we do that and we put it inside this multi-block here, it will turn into a bloom, which we can then mine and then turn that bloom into wrought iron. We have to make it into this kind of structure. You throw the stuff in the top, wait 15 hours, that's in-game hours. So about 15 minutes, I guess it is, and then it'll be done. So let's build it. So I think what we want is to make it out of some rhyolite bricks. So we're gonna build the bloomery with these rhyolite bricks, because I like the way the bricks look. Let's clear a little area. It'd be nice to have a roof over our head on this. Stop the snow. So I think I'm gonna have walls like right here. So I'm going to build the bloomery right here. So we need a brick here underneath. We're gonna need some bricks all around. Then we're gonna need a front like this. And then going up right there. Okay, that is the basic shape, because then we can take the bloomery doors and place it right there. There we go. See, we can open it and get to the block there. So we can grab stuff and throw it in there and make, that's just like one layer though. So there's one layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. Just like that. And putting a little ladder right there would actually be a good idea to be able to get up there. Okay, so we got a bunch of ladders. Put them up. So we can jump up here, stand on the top, throw stuff in. So let's try this guy out. There's 48 inputs, 16 items per layer. So normally you would throw in like 8 chunks of ore and 8 pieces of charcoal. However, if we look at the iron ore that we do have, so the iron versus the pyrite dust. Let's see. Iron gives you 144, so that's enough for 1, full bar. Pyrite dust only gives you 129. So it would be best to just get pure iron. It's like we could take this 8 iron and throw in 8 charcoal and get 8 ingots right away, easily. But with the pyrite dust, that's a little different. So you have to throw in a proportional amount of ores and charcoal, I think. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can just throw it. I know you can throw in 8 and 8. Can I do 9 and 7? Let's try that out and see if it works. Oh, looks like that worked. Okay. Let's do 9 and 7 again. And the bloomery can be a bit buggy if you try to throw in like multiple stacks at once. So I tried to throw in 18 pyrite dust and 14 charcoal. It might work, it might not. So it's kind of advised to throw in 1 layer's worth of stuff at a time. There we go. We've got our 3 layers ready to cook. You can open that up and see there's that. So we have it closed. You light the bloomery door. And there we go. 15 minutes later, we're going to have some iron bloom, which we'll be able to mine. And then after that, we can process it and turn it into wrought iron. So it might be good. In fact, we do absolutely have to have a wrought iron anvil. So first thing we need to do is get a wrought iron anvil. So we gotta cook this up a few times, get a bunch of wrought iron, enough to get us an anvil. Maybe we should get a roof on our heads here. Looks like the bloomery is done. So now when we open it, we've got the raw iron bloom, which we can then use the pickaxe on. 21. Okay, that's not too bad. That means we got 7 per layer. If we look at the pyrite dust, we had what, 9? That's 1161. So we take 1161, divide that by 144, that gives us 8. That means we should have gotten 8, but we only threw in 7 coal. Okay, so you have to have a charcoal for every bloom that you get. Since we put in 21, we got 21 blooms. If we had put in 8 pyrite dust, though, that would have only been 1032. And 1032 divided by 144 is only 7, which means we'd only get 7 back anyway. And we only got 7 per layer anyway. So in actuality, it would have been better to just throw in 8 pyrite dust and 8 charcoal. But, oh well. I guess we could do that right now, right? So it means 24. 24 pyrite. Okay, let's just throw it in and see what happens. Okay, good. It actually worked. So now if we light this again... Another torch. Okay, then 48 input stacks again, and we'll probably get another 21 raw iron blooms out of that. And yeah, so from these raw iron blooms, we can then take the iron bloom and you smash it to make refined iron bloom. And then the refined iron bloom, you smash again to get wrought iron. If we had some kind of forge hammer, it would do it for us, but we're not there yet. So we gotta do it by hand in the anvil, which means we're gonna have to heat it up again and do a lot more work at the forge, which means we're going to need more charcoal. I did look this up, and it is not pronounced kapok. It is properly pronounced kapok. So we're going to use all of this kapok wood because the kapok trees, they grow pretty fast, so it's a good source of wood. We'll stick all this into the charcoal pit. Now if you take a torch and throw it on there, I think it will light it just as if you did. No, you gotta throw far enough. Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, I love it when that happens. It's just so satisfying for some reason. Excellent, the bloomery is done. Oh, ow. Okay, apparently the blooms are hot, so let's get that low pipe so that we can pick these blooms up without burning ourselves. There we go, 21, just like last time. I wonder if we should put the tool rack up there. That might be a better place. Boom. Let's stick a fire starter up there too. There we go. Okay, so we have the raw iron bloom. Throw some of that in there. Now this raw iron melts at brilliant white, which means we can throw this charcoal in and light it. We don't have to worry about it getting too hot and melting, because it will only melt at brilliant white, and you can only do that with the bellows. So we can just throw these in here and just let them sit and not have to worry about them melting, which is nice. Okay, so hot enough. We'll grab one, stick it on here, and we just need to hammer it 3 times. Nope, that's a little too far. Okay. Nope. There we go. And then we can hit that into the wrought iron with 3 hits as well. Nope. Nope. There we go. So that's our first wrought iron ingot. Nice, we can throw that in there to cool off. Now it's important to try and figure out these recipes just because it takes a long time to get all of this pounded out. Problem is that, there we go, it's different every seed. So the one that I'm doing and the pattern that I have is actually going to be different, because your seed, unless you're using the exact same one as mine, will have different recipes. But once you figure out what it is, remember it, write it down or something, because then it'll make it a lot easier to actually get it done. Okay, that should be 7, yes, which we can then take and put into the crafting table and get a wrought iron anvil. Chunk. Alright. Ooh, we're running out of flux. You know what? Let's move that over to there. Move this right next door. There we go. Flux and hammer. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make a wrought iron hammer, because our other hammer kind of broke. So put that on there, and we want wrought iron hammer. There we go. Modestly forged, so not too bad. Wonder if you can make it while it's still hot. Yes, yes you can. Okay, so we can switch hammers. We'll just use this to crush up some ore or something to get rid of its durability. But now we have a nice wrought iron hammer. Okay, I think we're going to call the episode there. It's getting kind of long, and we have a lot of forging ahead of us. So next episode, you can expect more forging, getting into the higher tier metals. We are finally into the Iron Age. I guess I'm going to have to update my skin as well. And we're also going to hopefully get a roof over our heads. Maybe I'll do that first before I do more iron working. And then we get to make the blast furnace, go on to some steel. But that is something to look forward to. Hope you guys had a good time, and catch you later.